Hi everybody. I'm pretty sure that most of us love movies with great stories, and I'm sure that you have feel excited with movies like Godzilla or King Kong. These movies have been classics for years because not just because for their story, but for their great monsters and action between it. So these movies were create create these monsters by using special effects. So effects is defined as techniques used in the production of scenes that cannot be achieved by normal techniques. So today I want to explain to you, I want to review to you the development of special effects through the time. I'm going to go from the beginning in 1900s to the late 1900s and now. Okay, the special effects in movies started with a little technique, and at the beginning they were not made with technology as it is now. They were made with, for example, to make a background, they used to make like small models to make big cities. As an example, according with the Time magazine, in his landmark in 1927 film, directed by Fred Lang, created this dystopian world of metropolis using intricately detailed miniature models. The first movie to use this technique was the Trip to the Moon, right here, in 1902, and is still used nowadays in movies like Star Trek and Lord of the Rings. They also, for special effects, in those days they used to do the matte painting. That it helped to develop the background just for a painting, just with a painting in like a big painting. And this kind of paintings were used in movies like the Wizard of Oz in 1900s.
1939.
I forgot that. Okay. And also they were using King Kong and Jason in the Argonauts. The techniques of modeling made painting, and there's another picture they used to do. It was the stop motion. And the stop motion was made by taking pictures of an object moving. So every picture will show how it was the object moving, and they will put it together to make the final cut and make the scene like moving. So these techniques are still in use, and more than others, but during the 1980s and 200s, we moved toward the computer for special effects. Now with the technology that we have today, filmmaking is more easy, and people want to have movies more realistic. So now we use, in the early 2000s, we use the CGI. This is computers to develop. This is computers develop animated graphic for movies and other media. According to the Natural Recording Studios, filmmakers use softwares like Maya, Lightwave, and 3D Studio Max that help them develop animated characters. One of the movies that they made with this kind of special effects were Sherlock Holmes in 1985 and Star Wars and Toy Story. Toy Story 1 was it take a lot of time to make. It take like 80, 100,000 hours to make, but it was worth it because it get like $6 billion for it. And Another visual effects is the motion capture. According to the Phoenix Technology Inc., motion capture is the process of sampling the postures and location information of a subject over time. The subject is usually a person, an animal, or an object. The motion capture helps us make the most iconic characters like Gollum, I don't know if you can see it, like Gollum, or Dobby from Harry Potter. This technology helps to collect motion data from an object and transfer it to the final cut. The CGI and the motion capture were two big steps in making film even more realistic. Nowadays, even with technology that creates animated visual effects, filmmaker keeps developing more and more ways to make the movies even more realistic. Nowadays we have the 3D, and those movies that you can almost feel the character or feel like you're inside of the movies. According to Time Magazine, the director Cameron, for his movie Avatar, teamed up with Sony to pioneer a special design camera built into a 6-inch boom that allowed the facial expression of the actors to be captured with sensors and digital recording for animators to use expression of the actors to be captured with to make this possible, the actors had to use a special suit that can record every movement and a special movements that they use. And they made movies so realistic that all these movies became classic nowadays because of their success. These kind of suits they have to use to make the movements in the film. And according to and last but not least, we have the green screen. The green screen helps us to create big scenarios. Like I mentioned before, they used to have like the small models to create big scenarios, and now we use the green screen to develop more sophisticated scenarios. And this, according to WonderPolice.com, the green screen is a big cloth that helps to create transparency and build a dim background. The green screen is most known as chroma key, and besides miniature models of cities, this is another way to create amazing scenarios. Some scenarios that we've seen created by this cloth green screen, it's like the New York City under attack in the movie Avengers, and the universe created in the movie Gravity. So filmmaking has been developing year by year, and lately we have seen 3D technology and green screen that help us to make movies more natural. At the end, filmmaking will always be grown to get more realistic movies and made in history. So we went to the beginning of visual effects, we went to 1900s, and nowadays explaining the kind of technology we have used for filmmaking. Now you know that even though the big creatures that you've seen in movies, they look so real, they're not, they're fake. So they're just a product of perfect visual effects.
Well, the introduction has a nice common reference that I think everybody in the audience ought to be able to relate to. You give us a very clear statement of what it is you're going to talk about. There's a preview, so the structural stuff is all doing pretty well. I also thought in terms of content that you did a nice job presenting information in a pretty understandable way. I think maybe you probably bit off a little bit more than you could chew. There's too many things that you're trying to describe in the speech, and because the speech is over time, I think you need to make some choices and say, what are the 2, 3, or 4 techniques that I want to talk about, not the 7 or 8 different techniques that you've got there that you end up having to spend time on, because you just really need to be a little bit more focused on those issues. Your body movement's very limited. You stand in the one spot. You don't seem to be engaged with the audience. You turn your head sometimes to look at the visuals, and you kind of look up a little bit, but your whole posture just seems to be, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but not engaged, definitely. You sometimes have your hands down in front of you. A couple of times you crossed your arms a little defensively, but you're not very expansive when you're talking to us. Your facial expressions, I thought, were a little bit more vivid, especially in the first half of the speech when you're talking about something that you're interested in or you're enjoying, and you actually talk to us in those situations. Then I thought you were doing a nice job, but that's not consistent, and there are lots of times when you just start reading again. And in the last half of the speech, the last third of the speech maybe, it really just drops off your eye contact. It's like we stop existing, and all that's in front of you is the page that you're looking at and reading. And I think that hurts because you've got an interesting subject. People want to hear about it. They enjoy looking at the examples that you've got, and you just don't connect with the audience. You're just trying to look at the material there, and I think that that's a problem. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you.